All right, welcome back. Hope you all having a pleasant weekend. Definitely enjoying my weekend, or I have enjoyed my weekend. It's pretty much over now. It is 6:30 p.m. my time, and I'm just winding down here, getting back to my scheduled program. Always do live streams on the weekend. And I was going through some stories and I stumbled across this story that you see on your screen. And a subject or a message hit me that I felt I needed to talk about. So I'm here and I'm going to talk about it. Because I don't think it's right the way the laws call these attacks accidents. I think that's a crime. It says it's a crime channel. I'm going to put emphasis on that from now on forever. It's a crime. There's no way around it. Don't pretend like these are not killers. Stop doing that. I know people don't like to face that because they like to call them incorrectly man's best friend. Are they killers or not? The answer is yes. So let's just deal with reality and call them what they are, killers. And these are killers that are essentially worshipped. I said essentially, but it's really beyond worship. Because after each murder, these things continue to be praised just as much as they were if they were not carrying out all of these murders on a consistent basis. It's not just one murder, it's multiple on a consistent basis. No matter how many murders, no matter how many victims of those murders were helpless, which is the ultimate crime, to expose the helpless to something that you know is a killer and take the chance anyways. This is the lowest possible point humans could be at. There's nowhere to go but up. Shout out to everybody. I won't be too long on this live stream. My man, Mr. Payne, in the house. I'm going to refresh my live stream. Y'all know how ghetto it can get. Hopefully, everything goes smooth here. And I knew it. I refreshed my live stream and a bunch of comments pop up. We have a house full of people already. Good to see everybody back in the house. But like I said, these are real killings. Dogs are real murderers. And they carry out murders on a constant basis. Every single day, there are murder attempts. I've never seen anything that was failed to be taken seriously, especially when it needs to be, when it's a very serious situation. Here you have a population of murderers that equal the population of children in this country. There are about just as many dogs in this country as there are children. And the dogs are murderers. They're killers. Okay? All of them. Now, the smaller dogs are only capable of killing infants, and they do. This is reality, okay? And I love it, man. People live in this fantasy land a little too often for me. The small dogs pretty much only capable of killing small toddlers and infants. The larger dogs can kill anybody, from a child to an adult, and they do, but they prefer to attack children. These are real murderers that have a preferred victim demographic. And that victim demographic is your flipping kids, you idiots. Like, it's like, what on earth? For example, let me give you an example of my outrage or where I'm coming from. Recently, there was an anti-Asian hate crime bill that was passed after a handful of people were attacked. They wasn't even killed. They were not even killed. To make it even worse, I'm on record saying that it was 100% orchestrated. They were not even killed. Where's the anti-dog crime bill? Where's that? There are a lot more dog attacks. Many of them are fatal. Others are just they're extreme. The injuries are severe. Where's the anti-dog anything? They don't tighten up the laws. They don't treat these attacks the same way they treat attacks on humans by humans. When it is a human being carrying out the attack, they immediately tighten up law enforcement, pass these different crime bills, trying to pretend like they actually care. But when you're dealing with a demonic population of people, they still need blood. It appears this way. Why on earth are you treating attacks on children as accidents? Excuse me, literally calling them accident, literally describing them as accidents in your police reports. So I stumbled across this article today. Mother of boy mauled to death by dog, dubbed Beast, in heartbreaking ritual on his birthday. Now, full disclosure, I'll be honest, this story disturbed me. It was, it take a lot to make me weak in the knees. I felt hurt. Like it's a painful story. It take a lot to make me feel hurt. This story made me feel hurt. Now, you all remember this outrageous story and Jack Leese. The story, the mother, this was the mother of Jack Leese. And y'all remember this dog that was lunging at everybody that passed by. This thing just completely out of control. Totally brain dead. Just nearly. Now listen, I don't like this habit that people have of saying that this was a dangerous dog. The mother in this article is saying that there were a lot of signs that this dog was dangerous. She literally said that in this article, that there were a lot of signs that they said this dog was beaten. This is just what they said. I don't know. Said it was beaten and then passed around, went through several people's hands. But I say they're all dangerous. This one is just a lot more dangerous than the majority of them. They're all dangerous. There is no dog that looks like this that you're going to tell me is not dangerous. Each and every one. Just like a gun is dangerous, just like a knife is dangerous, this is more dangerous than that. The gun, the knife, does not have a mind of its own. Does not operate based on its own free will. Are you crazy? Let's talk about the significance of the threat here, or the severity of the threat. So, crazy story. Jack Least was 10 when he died after being attacked by this actual dog that you see on your screen. And this is in Caerphilly, Wales, November 2021. Just at the end of last year, you all remember this story. He would have been 12 years old today, according to his mother. Now, this is crazy. Mother of a 10-year-old dog following an attack. Emma, she would have turned 12 today. And to mark the occasion, to mark his birthday, his mother, for the second year in a row, visited the cemetery to sing him happy birthday and blow bubbles in tribute to her late son. She hopes to continue the tradition over the years with friends and family by her side. Now, let's imagine she does this for 10, 20 years, 30 years. Look at how long she's lived with it and dealt with it in her mind. 20, 30 years. All for a dog. You're willing to accept this happening to several people, all because you want to rub on a dog? For these worthless dogs. Nobody should go through something like this, where you lose a 10-year-old child. You know, it's when you lose a family member, this is more troubling than losing a parent who was very old. You know, you have a mother, you have a father, they're in their 80s, they're in their 90s. They pass away. That's a lot different than this. Not only was this murder, it was preceded by torture. On top of that, this was a 10-year-old. Barely got his life started. So you have to take that into consideration. That makes the death more severe. Okay, now you're not willing to risk losing the life of a loved one, even if it's an elderly person, even if it's your elderly grandparents. You don't view a dog's existence as more important than their life. But with dogs, people are willing to have something like this happen, where a 10-year-old is tortured, then killed. And now the parents have to live with that for the rest of their life. And they're involved in rituals like this that will always remind them of what happened. Now, this is an interesting article. She said, now this is a quote from her. She said he would be 12 today. She said, it's harder when events come by that remind us of him. There's always an event or something happening, and it's still very difficult. Jack's young brother, James, is finding it very hard. Now listen to this. He's finding it very hard. He's struggling massively. But we just try and take every hour as it comes. So he's basically saying, hey, we're not just trying to get through day by day. We're trying to get through hour by hour. Basically saying that it's very intense. The struggle is intense. You know, the pain, the memory, it's intense. Okay, and this is, again, Jack Lee's younger brother. Jack Leese was 10. Are y'all following this? This is the younger brother saying and finding it very hard, struggling massively, try to take it every hour as it comes. Said, we can't change what's happened, can we? Now, no, you can't. No, you cannot change what happened. But you can, and I believe you can alleviate some of that pain. You can alleviate a lot of that pain to the point where you don't feel pain at all. You can make it where you feel a whole lot better. Even after you lost your brother. And this is for everybody in the family. There's a way to really, really alleviate the pain. You know how? Be one of us. I believe that if you're now passionate about at least speaking out against bully breeds in Wales, where this took place, that'll give you motivation and alleviate some of the pain, some of the anxiety. Because at least you'll be doing something. You'll be involved in something, actively involved in something that will make it less likely that this will happen again to somebody else's child. What else is there to do? You know, part of that pain and frustration and, you know, feel like you're losing your mind comes from the fact that you're not doing nothing to stop it from happening again. You're not involved in anything in response to it. You're just taking the pain and the memory. Oh, that was horrible. Horrible what happened. And I think a lot of this comes from how reluctant people are to go against dogs. It comes from all the pro-dog propaganda. No matter what happens, you never ever supposed to take a strong stance against the existence of dogs, the presence of dogs. Even if you're just dealing with a breed, they have this stigma. You can't say anything against bully breeds. And notice, this was a bully breed. A breed that has come under scrutiny on a worldwide scale. People should feel freer to scrutinize the presence of bully breeds. To my knowledge, she hasn't even done that yet. Nobody has done that yet. I haven't seen or read anything. And that's coming from the worship of dogs on this earth. That's what it's coming from. It's coming from the fact that the killer in this case is worshipped. But yet this is a killing just like any other killing would be. A parent, no child, got to live with that memory. Got to always remember that her child died, was tortured first. That makes the whole memory of a lost one even more painful. Was tortured first. I mean, nobody, not even an adult, deserved that. But a 10-year-old tortured for multiple minutes, then killed. And society continues to praise and worship these killers. We don't treat nothing else like that. This dog worship is one of the greatest crimes that people are involved in. There's no way around that. There's no way around that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Horrible stuff. When are people going to wake up? You'll feel a whole lot better if you become an active member of people who trying to keep these things out of society. There's no place for something like this in society. Something that's willing and able and actually prefers to do, attack people's 10-year-old kids and small kids. No, under no circumstances. There's no amount. Don't talk to me about training. Oh, you look for the warning signs. Stop with that nonsense. The responsibility. Now, she touches on it a little bit in this article. She tries to like come close to being an anti-dog person. I'm always on the lookout. Like, I keep up with stories like this, Brooklyn Curry, Jacqueline Duran. I keep up with these dog attack victims and the parents of attack victims to see if they become an anti-dog, a crusader, which is what they're supposed to do. That's their calling. But this worship of dogs is so powerful. They don't get around to it. Not only that, they still profess to be dog nutters. But even when they do that, all they're doing is worshiping killers. These are killers. Killers that love to kill. Get off on killing. The only creatures on earth that kill for sport. They kill livestock, kill, just like they do your babies. Attack them, kill them, just to kill them. Brainless mutants don't deserve nothing from us. Not even the shelters. Now, Mom, listen to this. Jack Lee's mother is campaigning to highlight the callous practice of breeding dangerous dogs for money. For example, mixing breeds to get a muscle look. What? Where is she getting this from? Mixing breeds to get a muscle look? All of these bully breeds have excess muscle. They all have excess muscle. More muscle than other breeds. Don't talk as if bully breeds that are not mixed but still muscular are acceptable. No, the problem is not mixed breeds. The problem is all of these big, dangerous mutants. Okay? Let's not do that. This is almost like she's saying this to not offend the pit nutter industry, the dog lover industry. Trust me, saying it the way she just said it, she's walking on eggshells. Don't do that. You don't honor the memory of your son when you do that. You got to go all out. You got to be willing to die yourself for his memory. You got to tell the truth. And saying this won't prevent this from happening in the future. You just gonna have unmixed bully breeds out here attacking people. Don't attack no mixing breeds. Now, she also said, if I can deter one illegal breeder or bad owner or stop one family from going through what we've gone through, then I'll keep going. You're not going to do that if you're talking about this was the result of people mixing breeds to get a muscular dog. Stop that. That's not going to get the desired results. Man, very disappointing. That's disappointing. Says she struggled to understand what happened when she learned that an 83-year-old woman had died a few streets away where Jack had been killed in almost identical way in December, becoming the 10th person to die in the UK from a dangerous dog attack in 2022. And again by an XL bully type mix with a cane corso. She said, I think laws around breeding need looking at. And I think people need to use an element of common sense when they see something, because there were clear signs that the dog that killed Jack Leese was dangerous and out of control, but it wasn't reported. No. What needs to be looked into is the ownership of these dangerous, lethal creatures. That's the problem. Dog, I don't want to hear nothing about no breeding. We don't know nothing about specific ways that dogs are raised that cause them to be violent. What we know is that dogs that attack come from every single different type of owner. From the macho to the soft and meek, the delicate. There's no way to raise a harmless dog, especially when you're talking about a bully breed. These things are born with a natural instinct. We all know this. Let's stop playing dumb. A natural instinct to fight, to attack, to kill, to dominate. Stop with this type of talk. No. Said the laws around breeding. What you want is a neighborhood where these things are not there. You're not going to tell me that after your son was killed, that if somebody walked into the room with an unmixed Staffordshire Terrier bully breed, that you would feel nothing, that you'd be accepting of it. Let's say you had another child. Would you be comfortable with your child around an unmixed bully breed? Cut that out. Let's deal with the real problem here, man. Okay? So I resent that. I resent that idea of attacking breeders and breeding and all this stuff. You just get these things out of community. That's what you do. Come on, man. The dog that killed, listen to this. She said the dog that killed Jack Leese was beaten, passed around, and the original owner knew it was dangerous and yet passed it on to a man who didn't have a clue and let it attack people and didn't do anything about it. That dog was failed from the start, failed by people, and was bred purely to be a status symbol. This is a problem right here. Not even her son being killed has motivated her to go straight after the problem. Okay? And instead turned it into an individual issue. Oh, it's just that individual dog had a rough life. Humans put it through so much torment. Well, guess what? There are too many individual issues. Okay? You want to say that this particular dog went through bad stuff? Well, guess what? There are way too many of them going through bad stuff because there are way too many of them attacking people. The attacks are at an all-time high. There's recently an article written about that. And they were talking about England. This surfaced today, just a few hours ago. Dog attack victims near record high. And it's not just in England. It's all over the world. Dog attacks all over the world are at an all-time high. And you're talking about a country like the United States where it's 4.7 to 5 million per year. And people, we know it's way higher than that. They say only 1 out of 3 to 4 are actually reported. We've heard cases, dog attack reports, where the parents admitted that they didn't report dog bites, that there was a dog attack. Nobody reported it. It happens all the time. So these things are out here buck wild, attacking like nobody's business. You talking about 800,000 hospital, ER visits? That's overboard. That's overboard. And this is every year. This is consistent. There's nothing that's reducing it, nothing changing it. And you mean tell me, as soon as you get a handful of people who get attacked physically by another person, you're passing anti-crime hate bills and all this kind of stuff? Where are the anti-dog bills? Where are the anti-child violence bills? Where is your show of concern for the most vulnerable, helpless citizens in society? Until you show real concern for that demographic, you have to be labeled savage, evil, demonic, primitive, and all of that. All of that. Instead, you have media giants like the Los Angeles Times publishing articles like this. The title, "I'm the foster mom of 4 pit bull puppies and loving it." You mean a media giant like the LA Times putting out stuff like this? Which tells you what? There's a lot of money behind the worship of these killers, maintaining them in society, and making sure that there's always propaganda being pumped out into the public to brainwash people into looking favorably on these things. We got to keep them calling them family. Dogs are family. Don't ever forget that. Family. They're family. They actually write articles in the largest media outlets possible, praising and worshiping these things, the same creatures that create stories like this. Many of y'all remember the boy in, I think, India, who had his face mutilated, because I know the dog lovers, I can hear them now. Well, there are not that many deaths. There are not that many deaths.
Smiling.
This boy didn't die. He's still alive. You want to tell me there are not that many cases like this?
Alejandro Mizan before he was viciously attacked by a dog on Sunday. The 9-year-old was playing football with friends here in Enniscorthy when he was attacked by a large pit bull.
Okay, so unprovoked. Unprovoked, just like Jack Lee's attack. They're all unprovoked. And how do they respond? Oh, it's an accident. It was an accident. So this is worship. There's no way around it. An identifiable group of humans carrying out sustained and routine attacks, both lethal and non-lethal, on children wouldn't be tolerated, wouldn't be glorified. And if they were anything like dogs, they'd be cleared from the shelves. Dogs are just like toys. They're promoted to the public, pushed to the public as a toy would be. Hey, get one of these. It's fun. Get it for the kid. They're made for kids. And then what they're called, what? Property. They're called, the law calls them property. Well, if any other property was this dangerous, it wouldn't be property no more. Just like all the other toys been cleared from the shelves, dogs would have been gone a long time ago. If it was all about care and concern for the well-being of the citizens. Alejandro is still alive.
He is now being treated for his severe injuries in the Children's Hospital in Crumlin, with family by his side, including his brother Raoul.
Well, my brother at the moment is in the hospital. He's asleep from last night. He will be asleep till tomorrow morning. They insert him a tube in the neck so he can breathe, and the food is being in there as well. He can open his mouth. He can't talk at the moment. His face is in bits.
Oh, man.
It's terrible. Like he has no lip. All his face is destroyed. Like his life will be destroyed forever.
Raoul says the dog attacked Alejandro.
Okay. Now, I try not to show that. Hopefully, everything will be all right. He's still alive. Any identifiable human group carry out attacks like this, they're not going to be continued to be praised and worshiped. There's going to be a warning out on you. It's going to come across the screen, everybody's screen. Breaking news or warning or whatever. They're going to caution people about you. You're reckless. If you're this reckless and deadly, but instead with dogs, and because it's dogs, they continue to worship them. Very strange, very backwards, infuriating, sick, wacky, demonic. There are a lot of words you can use to describe this, and you'll still not hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Another moment in the Twilight Zone. Crazy stuff. It's like, come on, man. How many stories like this are out there? There's a lot of stories like this. You know, we just hearing this one from one mother. A lot of stories like this. Okay, and after each case, they're still dealt with, oh, it's just an accident. Oh, unfortunate accident. Oh, they're struck by lightning. We'll see how long this lasts. I don't think this is going to last too long. See, you know, people, they know they're going to have to take this seriously. It makes all the sense in the world. And we have laws to prevent it. This is actually a violation of laws, at least here in America. So it has to be addressed. They're going to have to address it. We'll see what they have to say. It's not if. They win. It's when. They're going to have to address this. They have to cut back on the promotion. They're going to have to tighten up some of these bans. They're going to have to do something real. Shout out to everybody was able to join me in this live stream. It's getting late and it is about my bedtime. Hope you all are doing well. And I look forward to chopping it up with the members probably tomorrow. And everybody else, I'm going to create content the same. Nothing's going to change. Got to keep up with this madness. Man, if for nothing else, just to rub the fact that there's a group of people pointing out the madness. Okay? We'll see how long you can ignore us. Oh yeah, I got to work tomorrow. I wish I didn't. Is tomorrow a holiday? Oh yeah. I hope it's a holiday. Give me holiday pay. Shout out to everybody able to join me for this live stream. And I hope to see you all back here on the next as we continue with this crusade.